And to think we probably won't get this because his shoulder stopped being a shoulder. Hey guys, what's going on? It is Papa's Team here with my review of NXT Takeover 30. You know, I thought for a show called XXX, I'm not even gonna make a joke. I couldn't think of anything. This is part of SummerSlam weekend. At the time of this recording, just finished to watch SummerSlam. I thought it was cool as butts, but still, we'll talk about that one. Anyways, this took place at Full Sail. It's the 30th show. Shout out to Natalia saying this is 30 years of TakeOver. Hilarious. On the pre-show, it is a number one contenders triple threat tag team match for the NXT tag titles. It is Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, the Legado del Fantasma, which is Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, and Breezango. God, I wish Breezango would do more things. I like how they do this tag match where it's like one from each team instead of like two people and then there's one team just not in it. It's really interesting. Fandango lets loose early on, a lot of double team action. Legado del Fantasma, Mendoza and Wilde have a lot of really good teamwork. I think of the three, they have the best like double team action. They do this cool like leg sweep neck breaker combo. There's a cool spot where they do it's like a standing Spanish fly and then a 450, and then there's a bunch of like spinning dives on the outside by Raul Mendoza. A lot of work. Breezango get a flying leg drop to a 2 count. Then they do the Spanish Fly 450 splash. Lorcan has a lot of fun. Danny Burch hasn't really seen a ton. He has maybe like one House of Fire moment. I wish I saw more of him. Lorcan drills Joaquin Wilde with a running uppercut. Tyler Breeze with a supermodel kick. And Breezango is your number one contenders. Simple match. It's about right for a pre-show. I give it 2.5 stars. I'm excited for Breezango and Imperium. Not sure how that's going to go. On the main card, your opening match is Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher. This had, I think, the least amount of build to it. There wasn't a lot going on, but the match was a lot better than I was expecting. It was very heavy mat wrestling, which is kind of what this match needed because it's kind of Timothy Thatcher's shtick. He's like a grappler. He's like a bone breaker. He's really cool like that. It makes both of them look like legitimate athletes, and whenever Balor tried to get strikes in, Thatcher would go right back to grappling. And I think it wasn't like too long where it caused a problem. But I enjoyed it. He targeted the knee and leg pretty early on. Locks in a lot of Kimuras and then transitions a lot from Kimuras into wrist locks, chin locks, ankle locks. Went with a lot. Balor tries to hit a coup de grace early and misses, almost collapses because he lands on a bad ankle, and Thatcher goes right back to the leg. Good striking fest between the two. For some reason, maybe this is how I interpreted it, Balor doesn't fully sell the leg work that Thatcher does. It's very half-assed, and I love Finn Balor. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Anyways, a lot more grappling work. Balor fights out of it. Coup de grace, 1916. Finn Balor gets the win, and he is still credited on commentary as having the most TakeOver wins, now at 12. Whoa. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I think the match was a really good opener, and I think it really, even though Thatcher loses, it's interesting to see how they made him look like a really good grappler, and I think they're both going to do well. Now, whether this pushes Balor into the NXT title picture, I don't know. I'm intrigued about it. Next up, it is a fatal 5-way, or fatal 4-way, if, you're not an asshole, for the vacant NXT North American Championship. We have Damien Priest, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, and the Velveteen Dream, whatever. Look, fire Velveteen Dream. I'm just going to say it, and I hope everyone agrees with me. And if you don't agree with me, you're an asshole. Priest jumps Dream during his entrance. That's awesome. And you get this immediate standoff of Bronson Reed and Damien Priest, the two hosses of this fight, and it's super cool. If either wins, can we get that be the first feud? Just saying. Decent action. Cameron Grimes grabs a stepladder, which is just probably the funniest thing of this whole match. I love Cameron Grimes, and I loved him when he was Trevor Lee in TNA. He's super funny, even though he's like a genuinely good wrestler. Cool run up on the Aimer to boot Priest in the dome piece, and Gargano does that jumping spear. Priest hoists Gargano up for a crucifix, but Thick Boy breaks it up, slamming Priest. Grimes climbs up, they have that like double ladder set up. Grimes climbs up both ladders, and Priest and Dream wishbone him, which is super funny. They try to take Bronson Reed out, and Bronson Reed is taken out. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different spot. By 2 ladders. Gargano and Dream do a little team-up action. Reed takes them both out. That's what with a senton. That's what I was thinking. On the ladder, which hurts like fuck. Reed sets Gargano for a powerbomb. Gargano escapes. Grimes hooks Priest around the waist, and we get that cool like Tower of Doom 4-man powerbomb thing. Priest lays a ladder on the rope, runs up it, and sentons to the outside, and then Candice LeRae comes out to check on Johnny, but pushes Cameron Grimes off a ladder, hits a Hurricanrana on camera on everyone on the floor. Bronson Reed tries to climb up, but Candice gets on his back, holds on, and Bronson Reed, with Candice on his back, dives and hits a splash on Gargano, which is just, it's hilarious. Love PWG Candice, even though I hate Candice LeRae. Everyone goes nuts. Everyone has a good like title grab spot where it genuinely thinks you could get it. Dream whisks a super kick. Fuck Dream. Climbs the ladder. Reed topples it so he gets dumped to like another zip code for how far he flies. Gargano and Grimes fight over the belt. Gargano hits him with a bonk. Priest climbs up, hands on the belt. Belt comes unattached. They both fight for it, and Damien Priest shoves Johnny off, and Punishment Martinez, Damien Priest, wins the NXT North American Championship. There's a thing that NXT is really good at. It's ladder matches and North American title matches, and when you combine them both, they're really cool. Not quite as good as the original, but close. I will give it 4.5 stars. I think this match was outstanding. I think it was legitimate. Everyone had an opportunity to win. I really loved it. Next up, I cannot believe I'm saying this was a match. It is Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion, and Pat McAfee, the former punter. Look, if you didn't watch the predictions for this show, I said this match should be 14 seconds, and it was 16 minutes, and I'm mad about it. Fine, whatever. A lot of taunting from Pat. He has his buddies come along with, which is weird, but this match is very slow for most of it. NFL dudes and Undisputed Era come out and they have this, it's a decent like Civil War standoff, and Pat does this giant senton to the outside, which I will give him credit. Pat McAfee is very athletic, even though I hate Pat McAfee. Anyway, McAfee's thrown off the top rope. The best spot of this whole match was Pat McAfee does this. He's thrown off the top rope. He does this beautiful backflip, lands feet first, and then verticals up to the top rope to a superplex. I won't lie, that was really cool. Pat goes for a punt, but punts the steel steps like a moron. Distracts the ref. Pat kicks Cole right in the cock. Punt, but a 2 count. Cole catches Pat with a reaction super kick. Panama Sunrise, easy win. While I do not mind that Pat McAfee was very impressive for someone who doesn't wrestle, I'm still going to give it 1.5 stars. I think the concept of this match being longer than 14 seconds is dumb. In your semi-main event for the NXT Women's Championship, it is Io Shirai defending against Dakota Kai, accompanied by Raquel Gonzalez. Didn't end with an I. I'm a little upset by that. I was the most intrigued by this because a lot of people wanted to have Dakota Kai win the title, but a lot of people also wanted to have Io Shirai retain, and it's really where you're going to go from here. Decent back and forth. Raquel makes her presence known very early on. A lot of armbar holds, a lot of mat wrestling. Io does hit a shoulder tackle into a 619, into a top rope drop kick to a 2 count. Fast offense. German suplex is reversed into a roll through and a double stomp. Dakota Kai's scorpion kick that she hits during the match is really cool. It's one of those like unique offense that you don't really see a ton. Kai sets Shirai in the corner up for one of those like those boot thing. I forget what it's actually called, but takes the ref's head clean off his body. Raquel flattens Shirai but to a 2 count. Shirai rolls out of a crossface to give a knee and hits that over the moonsault after missing earlier in the match, and Io Shirai retains. I will give it 3 stars. I think it was fine. I think it was a decent match. I think it was a good palate cleanser coming off of Pat McAfee. Again, fuck Pat McAfee. After the match, Raquel attacks Io Shirai and with a save by Rhea Ripley. And then you have that photo that's Rhea Ripley in the background of Shirai still celebrating, teasing what'll happen. I cannot wait for a Rhea Ripley heel turn. It's going to be really cool. In your main event for the NXT Championship, it is Keith Lee defending against, well, the man in our thumbnail, Karrion Kross. Now, don't let that thumbnail spoil, even though it did. I'm very 50-50 on this decision on having Kross win, because Keith is a great champion, but I do agree with if you have someone with a look of Karrion Kross and the great entrance and the great character work, I really think you should strap the rocket to him, even though bad shit happened after this match. Kross has taken on the back foot pretty early, which is rarely ever seen since he debuted. He goes to straight up punch Lee in the face on the outside, misses, and Keith Lee does that Keith Lee stare down thing, which is super cool. He tries to swing, breaks the plexiglass, kind of fun. Kross targets the shoulder early on, rams it in the corner, tries to lock in a bunch of arm bars, but Keith, being the powerful man he is, power bombs him into oblivion. Keith Lee blocks the Doomsday Suplex, Kross kicks him in the head, DDT to a 2 count, and Keith hits a clothesline to flatten him the fuck out. Kross hits a running big boot, which pisses off the big man, but he does get the Doomsday Suplex to a 2 count. Cross jacket, and Keith looks like he'll tap, but he hulks up to the rope, hits a Spirit Bomb to a 2 count. Avalanche Doomsday suplex from the middle rope, and Karrion Kross cleanly wins the NXT Championship. It's a very weirdly anticlimactic pin. I personally wasn't a fan of this match. I think it was I'm going to give it 2.5 stars personally. I think it was just a very average match. I think I had my expectations probably a little too high. And then the post-match news was that, I don't know if you can tell in the thumbnail, but Karrion Kross may have separated his shoulder and may have to vacate the NXT title, which is very unfortunate because he was about to have the rocket strapped to him, which leaves the question, now what for the NXT main event scene? Because Keith Lee, after SummerSlam, Keith Lee is officially going to Raw, so he's officially called up. So I don't know. I don't think Keith will be brought back in NXT if Kross has to vacate. So it's really do you want to throw Adam Cole back in there again? I mean, you might as well, because Adam Cole is great. You can have Johnny Gargano go back. You can have Finn Balor finally go back up, because you finally get Finn Balor and Adam Cole, which is super fun. I'm intrigued by this. But anyways, my overall grade for NXT Takeover 30 is a B-. I think the show was fine. No real complaints, but it wasn't, the greatest takeover ever. MVP of the night, I will say Io Shirai. She is set up for probably one of the best rivalries right now with Rhea Ripley, if that does happen. And my match of the night was easily the ladder match. I think it was super cool. And plus that post-match bit of Damien Priest jumping into the hot tub with the title is super cool, is super fun. But anyways, that'll do it for me. Next review will be Stella doing SummerSlam, and then all the ones for the following weekend will be done by whoever does them, really. But that's it from me. I'm Papa Steam, and I'm going to catch y'all on the flippy flip.